So, in this video, I want to talk about fitness tips for beginners because I know as a beginner, it's not easy to work out when you're new to it. You're trying to figure out really like what time to go to the gym, how to work out. Should you work out alone? Should you work out with a group of people? Should you get a trainer or create your own program? And so I just wanted to put some tips together because I've been working out for about 7 to 8 years now. Excuse me. I've been working out for 7 to 8 years now, and so I just put together these tips that could help out beginners or even people who have been working out for a few years, but they still want to become more consistent or just have a better system going. So the first tip is going to the gym early in the morning or late at night, because when you do that, you're going to avoid a lot of the crowds. Most people, they're going to go at say 12 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6, really 4 p.m. to 7, 8 p.m. is the busiest time. So if you can go early in the morning or late at night, then you can avoid a lot of that crowd and it'll save you time, and then you're not going to have to worry about feeling as self-conscious about yourself because there's going to be less people, potentially there to look at you. Now, the second point is to have some patience when it comes to results because, as a beginner, you're going to want to get results quickly, and that could happen for maybe, say, the first month, first 2 months. But after that, when you talk about like 6 months, a year, 2 years, to get the long-term results that you want, you're going to have some patience with it because it really takes some time. A lot of people in fitness, they don't talk about that, but it really takes a lot of time to get that progress that you want. Now, the third tip I would say is don't compare yourself to fitness models or influencers. A lot of them are using drugs, steroids, PEDs, supplements, right? Other forms of just, I always say like tools and other substances that could help them, but it's not always healthy for the body. So they may look great now at 20, 25, 30, whatever it is, but how are they going to look at 40? How are they going to look at 50, right? And so if you're a beginner and you're natural and you're not, and you haven't been working out for years and you're not using those steroids that they're using, of course you're not going to look like those fitness models and influencers and bodybuilders and all that. So it really doesn't make sense to compare your journey to their journey, right? You have to understand that you're going to be in a different place in them and that you have to stay patient because eventually you will get the results you want. But even if you do get results, you have to realize that it may never be what those people have because they're injecting steroids and other stuff into their body that you're just not using. So they have a different quote unquote, advantage, even though it's not healthy for them. The next tip I would say, which could be a little controversial, but I think it can help, is to take a break from sports for a bit. This is mainly for people who are really new to weightlifting or calisthenics or whatever type of exercise they're choosing. I would say to take a break from sports because potentially that sport could take away from your ability to work out. If you're already working a 9 to 5, or you're in college, or you have kids to take care of, you may not have the time to do that, work out, and play a sport at the same time, right? So you may have to say, hey, let me make this sacrifice. Let me leave this sport for a few months to a year so I can get in better shape and develop myself. In addition, with sports, you have injuries. Like right now, I have a torn ACL. I'm on crutches, so my fitness progress is gonna be taken back a little bit, right? I'm at like a here right now. I'm pretty good with my progress, but it's gonna go down to like here because I'm not gonna be working out for a few months, right? Well, not maybe a few months, but I'm not gonna be able to work out as much as I want to as before because I have to recover from this injury at the same time. So there's always that risk with sports as well. Now, the fifth tip I would say is to focus on your form more than the weight, because especially as a beginner, you don't want to injure yourself working out, and you want to develop, a good technique and habits for the future, right? Whether it's bicep curl, bench press, squat, deadlift, push-ups, pull-ups. It doesn't really matter what it is. You want to develop a good form so that when you move up to, say 50 pounds, 100 pounds, 150, 200 pounds, when you move up in the weight, then you're going to be able to still do it with form, and you're not going to be able to you're not going to hurt yourself, right? You're still going to do it correctly, and you're going to get, the proper use from that exercise and work the proper muscles. Because that's the other thing people don't realize, is that when you use the wrong form for a certain exercise, you're going to be doing the wrong muscles, right? So if you're doing, let's say you're doing bicep curl, but you're like leaning back too much, right? You're like this, doing bicep curl. Well, now you're going to be working out your shoulders and your back more than actually working out your biceps, right? And so that's something that people overlook. Everybody knows about the injuries, right? And the ego lifting. We've all seen those videos of people, they try to lift more than they can, or they lift with the wrong form, and then, they hurt themselves, or, something, it just looks bad. But at the same time, even if you're just doing your workout and you get tired, or you lift a little too much and your form drops too much, you're going to start working out the wrong muscles. And that's really the most important part about lifting with correct form. Now, the next tip I would give, this is especially for beginners, because intermediate or advanced people in fitness they're already gonna have this, but I would say buy gym-specific workout clothing and shoes. Now, it sounds pretty basic, but I feel like a lot of people, they forget about this, right? They start at the gym and they just go in like t-shirts, Vans, maybe they go in like a jacket, they might go in jeans, right? I've seen people in the gym with like a t-shirt, jeans, Vans, and a watch, and it's like they look more like they're ready to go to like lunch than they are to the gym. And I get it, they might have came off work or something like that, but if you can, it's best to invest anywhere from $100 maybe to $300. Get yourself 6-7 gym shirts, right? 3 or 4 shorts, 1 or 2 pairs of shoes, some pairs of socks, or get yourself some good gym outfits, so that when you put on those outfits, you feel ready to go to the gym, and that's going to motivate you more as well. A lot of times I could be lazy. I might not feel like working out, but I'll put on a nice Nike shirt, right? I'll put on my workout shorts. I'll put my shoes on, and then before you know it, it's like I feel like I'm in the mood to work out, right? So having those correct clothes can, one, it'll help you do the workout correctly, because you're not going to feel like your arms or legs are restricted. You're going to be able to move around how you really need to. And then in addition to that, those times when you don't feel like working out, if you end up, seeing your workout clothes, it's going to remind you, how you felt after working out, how you felt good. It's going to remind you of just like that feeling, and you're going to want to go to the gym and get that feeling again. And so it just builds up like a positive cycle, right? Where you work out, you get the good feeling, you shower or whatever, and then the next day, you see your clothes, you may not be thinking of working out, but now it's like, okay, now I remember like what it felt like. It felt good to work out the other day. And then you can put on your clothes and you work out again, and it just keeps going and creates positive momentum. Now, the next thing, this is something that I believe is also overlooked, is that, working out and nutrition are both important. A lot of people understand this, but really, if you're struggling with both of these, like say someone is really overweight, and they're also, eating unhealthy. So they're not going to the gym, they're not running, right? They're doing no exercise, but they're also like eating donuts and ice cream and pizza and like a lot of unhealthy foods. Now, instead of trying to hit the gym 4 or 5 days a week and start eating salads and fruits and all that, I would say pick one, right? If you pick one, it's going to be easy, because you're not going to get distracted as much, and you're not going to need as much willpower. So, for example, let's say you choose working out. So you're going to say, okay, I'm going to keep my diet the same. I'm still going to eat the crappy foods, but I'm going to work out 3 times a week, every week for the next 6 months, right? And you discipline yourself to that. So now you don't have that stress of worrying about your diet for these next 6 months, but you're focusing on working out, right? You're focusing on running, lifting, doing push-ups, pull-ups, whatever it is, whatever your workout regimen is. And you're going to create that pattern, that habit for the 3 months, the 6 months, whatever time period you choose, right? Let's say you chose 6 months. Now at the end of those 6 months, working out has become a habit for you. It's become like a part of your day, right? Like for me at this point, because I've been working out for many years, working out is like pretty much like a part of my day. It's almost like brushing my teeth. It's pretty normal, right? I may take off 1 to 2 days a week, but for the most part, I'm almost always thinking about like, hey, I need to get my workout in today, right? And so after that 6 month or a year or 3 month, whatever period you choose after that time period, now if you want to add nutrition, it's going to be easier because you're just going to think about nutrition. Although you're still going to be, developing your workout style and finding like the right plan and all that, you're not going to have to stress as much because working out will be more of a habit than at the beginning. Whereas if you try to build up the working out and the nutrition, and then there's also the proper sleep, right? The stretching. If you try to build all those habits at the same time, it's going to be very difficult, right? So you might want to focus on nutrition first, or maybe you want to focus on your sleep first, right? Maybe you want to focus on the working out aspect first. You just have to pick one part of fitness, and you focus on that for a period of time, and then you add another. And then after you do that, you add another. And then after you do that, you add another. And eventually you'll get to the point where, working out 4, 5, 6 times a week is normal, right? Eating fruits and vegetables is normal, avoiding fast food is normal. Sleeping well is normal. Eventually you get to that point because you do it, you develop a habit for a period of time and then you add another habit onto that. Whereas if you try to build multiple habits with fitness all at once, it's going to be difficult and you might end up dropping them all at the end of it. So that's why it's best to build one at a time so you don't overwhelm yourself. And the last tip I would give is to try many types of exercise or workouts. You might want to try CrossFit. You could try calisthenics, powerlifting, bodybuilding, right? Running, biking, military style workouts, you might do individual workouts, group workouts, partner stuff, workout indoors, workout outdoors. You want to try many different types of workouts to figure out like what works best for you. Like for me, example, I have found that calisthenics, weightlifting, and a little bit of bodybuilding, that works well for me. And then every now and then I'll go run a mile on a track, right? Every now and then I'll go for a hike. So I get a little bit of cardio every now and then, but the main focus for me is calisthenics and weightlifting because of my fitness goals. However, everyone's goals are different. You might find that just hiking all the time is the best for you. You might find that, doing only calisthenics and body weight is the best for you. You might find that bodybuilding and biking is the best for you, right? We all have, our different goals and what we want to achieve. However, I would recommend at the beginning, if you're completely new, to try many different types. CrossFit, calisthenics, powerlifting, running, biking, swimming, hiking, right? Just try many different types of exercise, workout programs, workout by yourself, workout with a partner, workout in the morning, workout at night, workout in a group, do some classes, right? Potentially get a trainer. Just invest that time, invest that energy, potentially invest some money as well if you need to figure out what's going to work for you. And then after that, you can tailor it more specifically. But at the beginning, you just want to get that broad range of different types of workouts so that, you can experiment and try to figure out really like what's going to work for you. So that's pretty much my tips. Potentially I'll be making a part 2 to this video if I can think of more tips, but those were just the ones that came off the top of my head. This is just really what I was able to think of from my years of experience. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm not a powerlifting champion. I'm not a calisthenics champion. I haven't won any gold medals in sprints or anything, but, I know I'm in good shape and I have been working out for a good period of time. And I just want to pass these tips on, because as when you're new to fitness, it can be very difficult, especially when you see other people doing so great. And so I want to help people be able to overcome that hurdle and develop the habit of working out, because it really is a great habit to have. And it's a lifelong habit, I would say my main motivation for lifting is I want to live a long life, and I think the better shape I'm in, the longer life I can live, And so it's more about just looking good or having a good physique. It's really about keeping myself in good shape so that I can live the longest possible. Trying to live until 70, 80, 90, potentially 100, whatever it is, and just the better shape you're in, for the most part, the longer life you'll be able to live. Now, of course, there's different variables, right? Genetics, if you use drugs, steroids, alcohol, right? There's a lot of different scenarios, but generally speaking, we know that, someone who works out and eats healthy and sleeps well, they have a good chance of living, a longer life than the average person, because they're taking care of their body, right? So anyways, that's it for today's video. I appreciate y'all for listening, or I appreciate y'all for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.